So I think it's a recognition of the foresight that Fortescue's had to actually recognise that renewable energy and green hydrogen is going to play an important role in the energy transition. And Australia has an opportunity to play an important part in that energy transition and contribute not only domestically to hydrogen production, but also to a growing export market. So the opportunity is enormous. In terms of whether this is enough, I think it's a great signal that the government is taking the energy transition seriously. If I contrast that to the Inflation Reduction Act in the US that was introduced late last year, that's a $369 billion support package. So $2 billion is a really good start. Yet to see the full details, I think it's going to be in the form of revenue support, so potentially production contracts for large-scale projects. But it's a really important signal that Australia will play an important part in this energy transition.
Kate, does it give businesses such as yours, I guess, the confidence and the green light to invest yourselves? And I wonder your view also from a global perspective of Australia, which has so far, until the change of government, been seen by some as a laggard when it comes to climate change action.
Absolutely. Look, it's been fantastic to see the commitment of federal government over the last year to tackling climate change and really leaning into this climate change challenge that we've got. And you can see through decarbonisation, the energy transition, a really strong agenda to support the work of industry in this space. And it's certainly an area that Arup's involved with strongly globally and increasingly in Australia, working with groups like FFI. But I think one of the really critical issues that we've been talking about in the last year is making sure that this transition is just and equitable, and that we are supporting, reskilling, redeploying people into these future-focused areas. So we're really pleased with the government's commitment to hydrogen, but also in the establishment of the National Net Zero Transformation Authority, which will help with that process of future-proofing the jobs and skills.
Elizabeth, you mentioned hydrogen as an export. There are some out there who doubt the viability of that. We've seen, as part of these budget measures, increases in taxes in terms of the PRRT. Do you see a future where hydrogen replaces LNG as a key export commodity for Australia?
Well, I certainly see a future where hydrogen and the export of renewable energy will be as important as iron ore, other commodities and LNG have been to the Australian economy. Look at the contribution that our sector has made, nearly $30 billion in corporate taxes across the mining industry in the FY21 years. So the contribution the mining industry is there to see. It's an important part of the Australian economy, and certainly renewable energy and green hydrogen. We know there is demand offshore for renewable energy. We've already got demand from Germany. We've seen the energy crisis emerging in Europe as a result of the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. So there is a crisis, energy crisis, and there is demand. And we already see that we have partners in Germany who are seeking 5 million tonnes of green hydrogen as quickly as they can.
Kate, $40 billion towards renewable investment plans. Are there any measures that you saw in the budget that focus on your area of expertise in infrastructure?
Look, we were really pleased with the commitment by Minister King to undertake the Infrastructure Investment Program review. And I think it really signals a strong intent by government to make sure that we're committing to nation-building projects and we're delivering the highest return on investment of infrastructure more broadly. So we really look forward to that coming through with a clear roadmap, with that clarity, delivering confidence to industry more broadly, consultants like Arup, but also contractors about the opportunities that lie ahead of us.
Elizabeth, we've heard measures to encourage more women into the workforce. That will help productivity with businesses like both of yours. What do you make of the measures to increase childcare, to help single parents for a longer period of time?
Well, I'm certainly a big advocate for increasing participation of women in the workforce and creating greater security. We know that there's a lot of women who over 55, for example, who don't have that same financial security. They might have been out of the workforce for a period of time and they don't have the same superannuation balances. So I know that job seekers been increased to support women, people over 55. I think that's a good move. We'll support those women. The single parent incentive, childcare subsidies. Productivity is key to Australia's future. We have to increase productivity, and to see greater participation by women in the workforce is an important part of that productivity measure.
Elizabeth Gaines and Kate West, great to have both of your insights here from Perth.